What destroys a man's value in a woman's eyes faster than lying or cheating? It's not what most men think. Sometimes it's the quiet ways he gives up his power, the subtle things he does without realizing they're eroding her attraction, her respect, and her desire for him. This is not about manipulation. This is about protecting your dignity, your masculinity, and the core of who you are. So today, I'm going to break down the 6 things a man should never do with a woman and why each one can cost you far more than you realize. 1, never beg for her attention. There's a silent language between men and women, one that has nothing to do with the actual words you speak and everything to do with the energy you give off. The moment you start chasing attention like it's oxygen, you've already told her you believe her time and validation are worth more than your dignity, and to never beg for her attention. That instant, the dynamic shifts. Many years think chasing hard will prove their interest. Double texting when she hasn't, never beg for her attention replied. Over-explaining why she should care. Rearranging your plans the moment she hints she might be free. But this doesn't inspire desire. It quietly broadcasts emotional scarcity. And scarcity kills attraction. Because attention that is demanded never feels valuable. It feels cheap, forced, and desperate. When you operate from fear of losing her interest, fear of being forgotten, fear of not being enough, that fear bleeds into your tone, your responses, even your timing. She doesn't need to consciously analyze it. She feels it. And what she feels isn't confidence, it's neediness wrapped in mistake number 1. Seeking her validation, the approval-seeking trap, flattery. Here's the brutal truth. Women aren't drawn to men who need them for emotional survival. They're drawn to men who value themselves so much that they'd rather walk away than beg for anyone's attention. Real desire is mutual. Real connection flows naturally. Me and you chase someone who's lukewarm, giving mixed signals, or withholding investment. You step into emotional quicksand, and the harder you try, the deeper you sink. A high-value man doesn't overextend himself to be noticed. He moves with quiet certainty. I know what I bring. If you don't see it, that's your loss, not my wound. That kind of grounded self-respect speaks louder than any pickup line. The less you chase, the more respect you command. The less you beg, the more curiosity you create, and the more you hold your power, the more likely it is that the right woman will step forward without you ever having to ask. Remember, you're not proving your worth to her. You're showing her that you already have it. 2, never overshare your insecurities. Never overshare your insecurities too soon. Too soon, again, there's a fine line between healthy vulnerability and emotional oversharing, and crossing it too soon can sabotage attraction before it ever has a chance to grow. Vulnerability, when shared with strength, builds intimacy. It says, I trust you enough to let you see me, but never overshare your insecurities too soon. When you unload your deepest fears and unresolved wounds too early, it doesn't create closeness. It creates discomfort. Here's why. In the early stages of a relationship, the connection hasn't earned the depth required to carry that emotional weight. Instead of seeing you as a confident man who happens to have a past, she starts to feel like your therapist, or worse, your emotional caretaker. That shift is deadly for attraction because it removes polarity. It's not that you should hide your humanity. It's about pacing. Let trust grow naturally. Share pieces of your story when the moment calls for it, when the connection has been tested and proven, when there's mutual investment. Early oversharing often stems from an unconscious need for validation. You're hoping she'll comfort you, reassure you, or tell you you're enough. But that isn't vulnerability. It's emotional outsourcing. Women respect men who can mistake. Number 2, confiding in her like a therapist, emotional dumping, carry their own emotional load. Men who can feel deeply without collapsing under the weight of their feelings. When you've processed your insecurities, you can share them without burdening the other person. You present them as part of your journey, as not as a cry for rescue. The key is groundedness. Vulnerability that comes from a place of strength invites connection. Vulnerability that comes from desperation pushes people away. She will feel the difference instantly. 3. Never tolerate disrespect. Every never tolerate disrespect relationship runs on a foundation of mutual respect. And the boundaries you set early determine whether that foundation stays solid or crumbles. The first time you let a disrespectful comment slide, the first time you excuse passive aggressive behavior with, "It's not a big deal," you silently teach her that your dignity is negotiable. Disrespect isn't always loud. Sometimes it's sarcasm that stings just a little too much. Sometimes it's jokes about your ambitions, dismissing your ideas, or failing to acknowledge your effort. If you ignore these moments, you create never tolerate disrespect, a dangerous precedent. A high-value man knows the difference between playful teasing and toxic erosion of respect. And when the line is crossed, he addresses it not with anger, not with drama, but with calm certainty. Sometimes that means direct communication. "I don't appreciate being spoken to like that." Other times it means creating space and stepping back from the dynamic. Silence in the face of repeated disrespect doesn't earn peace. It breeds resentment and invites more of the same. Once she realizes you'll accept being diminished just to keep the relationship intact, her respect for you will erode, and when respect goes, attraction soon follows. 4. Never make her the center of your world. One of the biggest traps men fall into is abandoning their own lives. When they finally meet a woman they deeply desire, they stop focusing on their goals, neglect their hobbies, and drift away from friendships, all in the name of making her happy. At first, this level of attention might feel flattering to her, but over time it suffocates her. She begins to sense that you have no identity outside of her. And nothing kills polarity faster than a man without purpose. Women don't want to be your entire world. They want to join a world that's already full, a life that's moving, growing, and thriving with or without them. A man with direction and ambition is magnetic because he's whole on his own. When you revolve your existence around her, you send the message that your purpose is tied to her presence. That's not romance. That's dependency. And dependency creates pressure. Pressure for her to be your sole source of fulfillment. That pressure suffocates desire. A high-value man stays rooted in his mission. His mistake, number 3, trying to save or fix her. The savior complex purpose doesn't take a backseat for romance. It's the very thing that keeps the romance alive. She admires him because he values her deeply, but never more than he values his own growth. 5. Never try to control or fix her. Never make her the center of your world. Control is one of the fastest ways to destroy a woman's trust. It often hides behind concern. "I'm just trying to help you," but underneath control says, "I don't accept you as you are. I need you to change to fit my comfort." Whether it's dictating her choices, policing her friends, or constantly offering corrections on her personality, trying to fix her is a form of disguised insecurity. And even if she complies temporarily, resentment will build beneath the surface. Your role is not to mold her into your ideal, it's to inspire her through your example. People don't change because you tell them to. They change because they choose to, often because your actions set a standard they admire. A high-value man doesn't measure a woman against a checklist. He holds his own standards, lives by them, and lets her deal on side whether she wants to rise to meet them. He understands that love thrives in never try to control or fix her acceptance, not in constant management. Never make her the center of your world. 6. Never abandon your masculine frame. Your masculine frame is your anchor, the grounded energy that keeps you steady no matter what happens around you. Lose that, and you lose the respect and attraction that keep a relationship alive. Holding frame doesn't mean being cold or emotionless. It means feeling your emotions without letting them control your actions. It means staying calm when she tests you. It means not folding your boundaries to keep her happy. Women will test your frame not out of cruelty, but because they want to feel the strength of a man who doesn't collapse under emotional pressure. If you react with anger, neediness, or frantic attempts to fix things, you show instability. Instability, Erida's safety, and safety is one of the core pillars of attraction. A man who maintains his frame can lead with calm confidence. He doesn't get pulled into unnecessary drama, and he doesn't seek constant reassurance. His consistency makes him stand out in a world where most men either suppress emotions entirely or never try to control or fix or drown in them. Masculine frame is about emotional sovereignty, owning your responses, your values, and your presence without compromise. That's the kind of man women respect for a lifetime. At the end of the day, you don't lose a woman because you're not enough. You lose her when you abandon yourself just to keep her. Hold your power, protect your dignity, and remember, the right woman will never need you to sacrifice your self-respect to stay. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful relationship truths, and share this with a man who needs to hear it today. See you in the next.